Hello guys, so today I will show you how you can create a REST API that stands for Representational State Transfer. So there are common HTTP methods that are used in a REST service. So the first one is GET, which is used to fetch the data from the server. Second is POST, which is used to send the data to server. And the third one is put, which is used to update the data on the server, and the last one is delete, used to delete some data from the server. There are few other HTTP methods as well, but these four are the most common ones, and also these four allow us to achieve the CRUD functionality, which means create, read, update, and delete. So yeah, so on the web we commonly follow a client and server pattern to communicate. So these are the clients, the mobile client and browser client. There can be many other clients as well. So yeah, from our browser we can talk to our server, and the server can also respond back to our browser, and the mobile can do the same thing. And we can also have multiple different types of clients, suppose a Raspberry Pi or a tablet or something like that. So yeah, so usually the browser sends the query to the server and request from some data, or request to manipulate some data, and the server just hit back to the database, which is a very secure object, and then the database, and then make some changes into the database and inform the client that yes, I have initiated your changes as per your requirements. And also, because the clients cannot access this database directly, they can access the database directly, but it's not a good approach to access the database from the client side. Okay, so let's make the REST API in Node.js. So here I am in my folder. I'm going to open VS Code over here. I'll quickly show you the demo of all these four routes with the database as well. So let's install few dependencies. First one is Express and second one is Course. So Express is the framework that we are using to create our server, and Course is used to accept the accept the cross requests from our local machines. Just init the Okay, so let's start with our server. Let's create an index.file. Yes. So this is the entry point of our server. So let's create a script. So I'm gonna import the Express. Also import the course. Let's create our app. So as I said, to enable cross-site requests, we have to use course, and this is a middleware. So here I'm going to pass the middleware's app course, and we have to use another middleware to accept JSON requests. So let's create a, okay, so first listen to the user requests. So here we need a pod to listen on. Let's create that. So every application to communicate over HTTP requires a port. So we have everything on the port. Let's create a route very quickly and send back the responses. Let's start the server with npm start. So the server is on right now. Rest.sim. Okay, okay. So it should be rest.sim. So this rec means request and this rest means response. Let's restart our server. So yeah, you can see that we are getting the response. So it's a get route. We can create a post route as well. So as I said, post route is used to send data to the server. So the post request usually contains a body that we can grab on our server using. So this contains the body that's being passed by the client. So let's assume client has passed something like status. So this clients want to update the status, and now we want to send back to the client that hey, your status has been updated. So to make a push request, we need to have a REST API client. So we cannot make it directly from the browser. We have to make it through tab console, and so that's not that we are going to do in this video. Okay, so we need a REST API client. So download this extension, which is the REST API client for VS Code. This is right here in my VS Code. So I will create a new request. So the route was, let me see, let's name it status. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's make a post request and send it to the server. Okay, there's an error. Let's not send dot body instead. Okay, let's see what's wrong. Yeah, so we set it like that. We have to pass it. As you can see here, your status has been updated. So we can connect our database and then store this to the database. You can go to the MongoDB website and create a free account over here, and then just you will get an URI to communicate with your database over the internet. Or instead, what you can do is you can just download the free community version of MongoDB in your local machine and then start the MongoDB server from there and then communicate through your application. So what I have done is I have downloaded it on my PC already. This is very simple process. Just select your operating system and then click next, and it's going to be installed. So right now I have it in my C drive. So here it is. So this is the MongoDB server application. We start it. Let's go back to where we have came from. Okay. So right now my MongoDB server is started. If I want to connect to my server, I have to create a connection. Okay, so let's create a connection in a separate file. Nodejs. So for it we need to install few other dependencies. First one is MongoDB. The second one is Mongoose. So Mongoose is what we are using to connect to the MongoDB. So it saves your time, and it's an ORM that can be used to easily communicate with the MongoDB. Create a function. We need to pass a URL. So this is the URL string of my DB. So just pass the name of the database that you want to use. So in my case, let's name it YouTube DB. YouTube DB. And pass a callback function for the result of the. Just leave it like that. DB. Okay. Successfully. Let's export this function. Yeah. Restart your server. So yeah, as you can see, your MongoDB is connected successfully. So now we can initiate our request to the MongoDB server to store some data or retrieve some data, whatever we want to. So for MongoDB, that we have to create some models. So let's create a models folder and have one models inside it. So let's create a user model. We can set a default value as well. Let's name it I'm a new user. Let's create the model. So now we can use this model inside our application. So let's just create register dot where the user can register himself. So let's assume the user has passed a the user has passed a name. And let's restrict the let's infuse the status for now as there's a default value already over there. And to make a user register, we have to call a DB. And let's use from we have to create a new user. So let's do it the is because like the traditional callback method is not that good to work in. So yeah, just pass the name. You can do it like that. Or just remove the name from here. And then you just save this. And once the work is done, just send back the slot. Easy. You can also use the HTTP status stores if you want. So let's use that 201 status store. It only goes to success. And as far as the user is user. So let's remove the user. Okay. Let's try to run. Hopefully everything works fine. Let's create a new user. So as you can see, the user has been created. You can also check it right here. So if I just show DBs, so there is a database that's newly created called YouTube DB, and if I type use YouTube DB answers to that database and db dot users of fine. As you can see, we have successfully created a username Alex and with the status of I'm new user. Okay, so if I want to update this user right now, what we are going to do is use a pull request over here, and let's update the status of the user. So to update the status, what the user has to do is just simply send his name right here. So this is a big parents that the user has to put his name into. So what we are going to do is we are going to extract the name of the user here, this name, and then we are going to look up for the user inside of a database. Or you can simply use this. So if we successfully if user, so let's if not user, it will say like status of 400. Registered. If there's a user, what we are going to do is user dot change the status, right? So also the user gonna pass the status in body. So we are going to update the status of the user with this status over there, and just simply save the user dot save and send back. Success. So if it fails, what we're going to do is just simply send the error message to the user. So let's try to update the user now. Let's restart our server. And if I go to status route and then pass Alex, so good request. Let's see if it works. As you can see, the status has been updated. I mean, we forget to pass the status. I am easy. Earlier we forgot to pass the status. Sorry. So now, right now, you can see the status has been updated. I go to the. You can see now the status has been changed to I am busy. So this is how we use pull requests to update something on the database. So there's another request which is delete. We can use app on delete. So the name of the user. Simply. So what we are going to do is just grab the name from the params. Try to delete the user. Let's make it an async function. And delete name with name. So basically, you see that if it becomes successful, if it becomes true, then we are simply going to pass this. Let's copy it from here. Success. The user is deleted. And we are going to this user not found. Let's see if it works now. Okay, error set headers as they are sent. Yeah, so we have to return from here. You can see the user has been deleted now. There's no user right here. Our server can also be a client for some other server. So let's suppose I'll show you the diagram. So suppose this is a server. This is our server, and a user wants to know the location. And suppose a user sent coordinates to the server, and then server don't know how to get the location. And for this, a server is using an API, or let's say another server, to access the to know the location of the user. So what the server gonna do? So now server is client for this geolocation server. The server is gonna do is server will make a HTTP request, sending the latitude or longitude, or maybe using the IP address. It will send it to the geolocation server, and the geolocation server will send back the response with the location of the user. So right now our server is client for this geolocation server. So yeah, it's possible that our server can also be a client for other server. We can also see the example of it. We can just create another server. So let's suppose we have created a location server. Just this is just an example, and then just create a XJS file over here as well. And if I let's open a new terminal location. So suppose this is the server which has the power to know whether what's the location of the user. So that's okay. So first this repository and just all the same dependencies, express cause, and yeah, that will be fine for now. So let's copy from here. That will be much easier. Let's delete everything. Delete these processes. Let's change the output. 1001. Let's apply our middle layers. Use cause to accept cross-site requests, and then use express.json. And let's make an imaginary route which has the power to give user back its location requested based on the longitude and latitude. So this is the route, and it accepts coordinates. So yeah, so these are just imaginary things. I'm just implementing to show you that our server can also be a client for another server. Request params, coordinates. We can use either get and post requests. It's up to you. Let's use a simple get request, and then just send a failed response. The status are 200. The user location is. Let's assume the location is Paris. So pass the same coordinates. So yeah, this is the request. And right now we have this. There were some errors I see. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so I'm exceeding the coordinates. Okay, we have to create the script, or you can use just simply node index.js if you don't want to create a script. Okay, so another server is running on almost 5,000. This is the server. This is using another port. So right now you can see we don't have any root route on this branch. So right now if you wanna see like get the request, so just pass some random coordinates 3, 4, 2, 4, 6. Just assume these are the latitude and longitude. I know it's not correct, but yes. If I pass the latitude to the user, see what's happening. LOCTI get coordinates. Oh sorry, so this is like this. So as you can see, I have coordinates for this. So we can achieve the same one. So right now, our server over here is acting with our geolocation server. So right now, our server is acting as a client, and this geolocation server is the server that's serving our client's request. So let's fetch the location using the coordinates. So I'm gonna make a get route over here. My location. Save it my location. Let's get the coordinates of the user. So we have to make an HTTP request to that server. So in the node, what we have to do is create the HTTP module. Let's grab the request module. This. Just make a request. Request start. I think it's just a request. Okay. HTTP localhost 5001 nation. Coordinates. We will get a response. So once we get the request, so we are getting the data in chunks. Once we get the data successfully, what we are going to do is basically just send it back to the user. Rest out it is equals to 200 JSON. Data. I think we have to parse it as well. Let's see if it works. My location and coordinates. Let's make that request. Location is a random coordinates. Where is the server crashes? Oh yeah, I forgot to in the port. It's 5001. Also, I have to put end state over here. Okay, so let's check it right now. So I'm making the request to my location to 33 some random coordinates. And this server is going to send the request to this server, which is a geolocation server. So let's see how it goes. Okay, I have to turn the server on. As you can see, now I'm getting the coordinates that I have passed and the location, which is Paris and France. So yeah, as I said, our server can also be client for some other server. So this is how the REST API works. Hope you like my video. This is how the REST API works, and let me know what new videos you want me to make and what things I can improve on. So my new goal is 500 subscribers. Please help me reaching 500 subscribers. Thanks.